Yeah, okay, please. Thank you.
Right. Right, I'll just, I've only prepared 2 pages of slides because everybody hates PowerPoint slides. I'll go over this brief, sorry, I'm just gonna close this door. This is just an overview of the university, so I'll just go over this one really, really quickly because a lot of you guys might have never worked with us in the past. So we do have Sydney and Melbourne, but they're only affiliated with us, but they are not actually our main campus. So we have 3 main campuses in the Gold Coast, in Australia, one in Gold Coast, another one in Lismore, and there's one in Coffs Harbour as well. So the difference between the main campus as to the sub campuses are, the main campuses, the course offerings are much more diverse than the Sydney and Melbourne. So the Sydney and Melbourne and Perth they have business and tourism course. With the main campus, we have pretty much everything: engineering, law, health, fine arts, environmental science, everything basically. So the 10 reasons that to study at Southern Cross University outside, the number 1 is the Gold Coast campus is really, really right next to the beach. So it's only 5 minutes of walk from really nice beach. So great lifestyle. We do have a lot of European students because they come here to surf. We do have another campus in Lismore. Lismore is about an hour from Gold Coast, more inland. So you guys might have heard of Byron Bay. It's a very, very famous tourist destination. So Lismore is only about half an hour from Byron Bay area. And Lismore is probably our biggest campus. It has about 30 buildings. Gold Coast is a little bit smaller, but more students in Gold Coast than Lismore. We do pride ourselves in terms of our excellent student support. So we have ranked number 1 in Australia for overall student support for 7 years. So that's something. And in Gold Coast, we have brand new facilities because this campus is, I'm based in Gold Coast campus. So we have 3 main buildings operating now, and the 4th and 5th one in construction or in planning. So it's only less than 10 years old, but it's developing really, really fast, growing really, really fast. And the other benefits of studying in Gold Coast, I don't know if you have heard that the official announcement is that Gold Coast, the living expense in Gold Coast is only probably about 50% of Sydney and Melbourne. So it's a lot cheaper to rent and live here than in Sydney and Melbourne. Also, we have much lower tuition fee. It's only about, a lot of the courses are only $26,000 a year. And on top of that, we provide a lot of scholarship, somewhere between 10% to 60% scholarships. But the 60% scholarship is really the Destination Australia scholarship. So there's a lot of restrictions in terms of what course they can study. But 10% scholarship is pretty much for everybody. And that's the regional scholarship. And 30% scholarship is more for the level 1 country students. So Indonesia is level 1. If an Indonesian student apply to us, they would get this scholarship automatically. So it's about $8,000 per year, every year given to the student. Every single level 1 country student will receive this automatically. So $8,000 a year, $4,000 per semester, right? So the other thing is we are very, very close to the Gold Coast International Airport. So you can pretty much walk from here to the international airport, and it will then take you 10 minutes of walk. And you get free airport parking, which I love. And internships are available for the majority of our courses. I'll talk about this one a little bit more because for some courses like social work, internship is obviously very, very important because when they do the skill assessment, job internship is very, very important. And okay, I'm not going to go too much into these because you can always check it online, and we don't have a great ranking, to be honest. Not well, but that said, we're still top 3% in the world, so it's a pretty good university to study. And second page. All right, so I understand we have some of us are in India and Nepal, so your first contact person would be over here, Louise McCarthy. So she's not here today. We share an office here. She just sits pretty much right behind me. So she would be your first point of contact if you have any prospective student inquiries or anything to that matter. And I myself look after China, Taiwan, and Hong Kong really, but the Southeast Asia regional managers at the moment, the position is vacant. Therefore, I'm unofficially covering for that region as well. And we have Christine Martin, who works for, who does Europe and the rest of the world. Now, popular courses, I think everybody would be interested in hearing this one. I'm not going to go through every single one of our courses because it's just so many courses. And pretty much every single courses, but particularly undergraduate course, lead to immigration. So if you're interested, you can always go and look into our website for our undergraduate degree courses. I did share, all right, this is done. I did share an Excel document here with, I had an immigration lawyer do this one. I'm not sure, I'm not an immigration lawyer, I don't know much about it. So I had them write down the matching occupation in here. Where is it? So, all right. I'm just trying to make it a little bit smaller. Not sure what's happening with this one, but there should be a column on there it is. So there should be a column on all the matching occupation on this with the course. So I really don't know how accurate and how that is. Should be pretty accurate, but this is not very up to date. So you might have to do your own homework if you look into that. But anyway, I'll talk about the aviation course in detail because this seems to be the course that we, very, very, very different course we offer. And there's a really good outcome with this course. So I'll talk about this one as the #1 course that I would recommend. So commercial pilot license. All right. So the course structure is basically, it's just a 3-year bachelor, and we have a number of students from India, a big number of students from Malaysia, Philippines, what else? Indonesia, we probably have only 1 or 2, not many, but we'd love to get more Indonesian students. And the biggest number of our aviation students are from Taiwan and Philippines. This is a very, very popular course because it's very shortest and probably the cheapest in Australia. It's the shortest in duration because it only takes 3 years to get bachelor as well as the commercial pilot license, CPL license. All right. So there are 3 intakes, and the course fee is roughly about 150,000 Australian dollars. This includes like tuition and the commercial pilot license. So everything included, 150, around that mark. This is probably the most expensive course that we have. So the first year tuition is paid directly to Southern Cross University, and then the second year is studied at Aviation. This is right next to us as well, because we are at an international airport. They're on the other side of the airport. From here to the Aviation is probably about 15 minutes of walk if you walk. So it's, and the student do the second year at Aviation and come back to Southern Cross to do the aviation management major courses. So this is written as Bachelor Business because it's a business degree. So the first year is all fundamental, like basic business level units, but the last year is actually major specific. So it's all aviation management specific units like airport management, human factor, and stuff like that. I can show you the study plan later if you're interested. So this is a tuition fee for 2019. We haven't updated our tuition. We haven't updated this slide for a while. So if you're promoting this course, I would suggest you to print out a few copies and just leave it at your office. It's a good thing. It's good to have it handy. Now this course is CASA accredited, obviously. And you know that there are 4 major aviation authorities in the world. So America is FAA, so America follows a different system. Latin America and America is one system. CASA pretty much covers any region, including India, Southeast Asia, and parts of East Asia. So, and then there's another one, Europe, and there's a mainland China uses a different, they have their own one. So there are about 4 big aviation authorities. So this is one of them. So if your students are from Southeast Asia, South Asia, pretty much every single Asian country except for China, then you can send your student to us and they will get an internationally recognized commercial pilot license. Now, there's one thing that I want to mention about this course. So far, our this course has only been running for about 3 or 4 years, probably only about 3 years. So the first cohort, we only have a very limited number of students, only 8 students. I was able to find them job in Australia, flight instructor for all the FLUM. And then second cohort is about 15 students. Now, I have full confidence that I can place them in jobs as flight instructor in Australia as well. Now, as you know, flying instructor is actually on the skilled occupations list in Queensland and in Victoria as well. So by the time they finish the 3-year course, they would have a commercial pilot license. And if they want to become a flying instructor, they have to do an additional 4-month course. So it's like, you can, I mean, by having it's like having a driver's license. To become like driving instructor, you have to do an additional course to become qualified as an instructor. So same logic. So 3 years course, it only gives you about 200 hours of flying hours. And then you get your commercial pilot license. And if you choose to, then you can go and do this 4-month course, which leads to immigration. And so this, I mean, even if a student don't go home and become a pilot, at least they have an option to immigrate in Australia. And like flying instructor is hugely, it's very much in demand. So our students, some of them, if they don't want to become a flying instructor, they can also go to Northern Territories and fly patients and stuff like that. And when they have enough hours, so this course will only give them about 193 hours of flying hours. Afterwards, during their post-study work visa, which they will get 3 years of post-study work visa, and they can accumulate flying hours during this time, either by being a flying instructor or flying patients, whatever they want to do. So a lot of the major airlines will probably require, say, 300 or 400. Some probably only need 200. It depends on the airline, how many flying hours they want. So during that 3 years, they can accumulate plenty of hours as a flying instructor. And then after a year or 2 as a flying instructor, they can apply to big airlines as a pilot, co-pilot. So it's a very, very good career. I don't think there will be, well, there's a huge demand in terms of pilots in the APAC region. Boeing has released a press release a while ago and said in the APAC area alone, the world's going to need something like 80,000 pilots. Now that's a huge number, and we work really close with the mainland Chinese aviation, like a group of aviation schools, and they want us to send them about 250 flight instructors. And at the moment, we can only provide about 50 a year, and that's the best we have. So until we have that 250 a year, like I can pretty much find jobs for every single one of our graduates. But officially, as a university, I can't say I can guarantee you a job, but that's their career perspective. It's really good. Now, immigration, tick. Employment, tick. And yes, it is a little bit expensive, but really, if you go to an average university in Sydney and Melbourne, that's probably 150 is probably what you pay for a normal course. So I think it's still very affordable. Now, so have you guys got any questions about this course?
So the diploma of aviation will be like awarded by the which organization? Oh yeah,
Aviation. So it's a flight school. Our they have flight schools as well. So they will issue COEs. So the student will get COEs from both institutions.
Okay. Yeah.
In the second year, they get a leave of absence for this course is about 18 months. So really long time. They go away. Half of their studies are actually at aviation. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
So agents will climb commission out of both. Anyway, I'm not gonna go too much into that. Entry requirement is really flexible. So a lot of people worry about things like medical exam. I tell you what, so far we have about 200 or 300 students in the program. Probably about 200. Nobody has failed the medical exam. This is called CASA Class 1 medical exam. CASA Class 1 medical exam. It's very basic check. You don't have to have a really good eyesight. You can be fat or skinny or tall or short, whatever. And male, female, we don't discriminate. CASA doesn't discriminate anybody. Anybody can be a pilot as long as you're healthy. So, and then entry requirement is just a basic Bachelor of Business entry requirement. HR is only like 60 something. So it's very, and if they don't meet that entry requirement, they can even go through a foundation 4-month foundation course as well. And we always say that anybody with arms and legs can get into this course, so you don't have to worry about it. This is really for everybody. Now, so the next course I'm going to talk about is just the social work. It's probably not in here. I don't really have anything, so I'm just going to bring up the website. Oops. Sorry, bear with me for a minute. That Destination Australia Scholarship, we had trouble filling up we didn't receive enough applications. So anyway, we just had to give it up. You know, this is a scholarship that Australian government is giving to regional university to encourage students to go to the regional areas to study, but we didn't get enough applications. So we were almost desperate. Like, this is the money like Australian government is willing to give us, but we couldn't get enough students. We couldn't get enough international applicants for that scholarship. So this is something to, so if you have really good applicants, this is something to think about. I think we do have a scholarship. Sorry, we do have a flyer here about the Destination Australia Scholarship. This is the 60% scholarship that I was talking about. So about 15,000 a year. So if they're studying a 4-year engineering course, for instance, they get this much. So this is a list of courses that they will get, as long as they meet the English entry requirement. And if they're applying for these courses and they don't have fails, they'll get that scholarship. And yeah, all right. Do you want to hear more about scholarships or not? You okay? I think I was pretty clear.
Narisa, do you want to talk about the scholarship for level 1 countries and for level 2? Yeah.
Did I send you a document? So no, this is an internal document. Okay, I probably shouldn't even be sending it to you. But Mike, is Mike here? I've sent it to Mike. One of your
Yeah, I'm here. I'm Mike. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is an internal document. So I probably shouldn't have given you this one, but this pretty much explains all the scholarship and who gets it. So diversification scholarship is $8,000 per year. That's about, because our tuition is only about 26, so that's nearly 30% scholarship. All level 1 country applicants will get this scholarship, 8,000 for every course. There's no restriction as long as they're coming from the main campuses, Gold Coast, Sydney, and Gold Coast, Coffs Harbour, and the small campus, they'll get this scholarship. So selection criteria and everything is there. Level 1 country, 8,000 a year per year. Okay, if they're doing 3 years, they get 24,000. And level 2 and level 3 countries, if they're really good, they should have a chance to get this $8,000 per year scholarship. They can apply for this academic excellence scholarship. Their grades will probably have to be above average at least. And regional scholarship, this is for level 2 and level 3 countries. So everybody gets it. And this is only about 10%, a little bit more than 10%. So 5,000. Actually, how much is, what's the percentage? 5,000 per year. So 26,000 is the whole year tuition. So it's
around 20%. Yeah, around 20%.
Around 20%. Okay. Well, that's still pretty good then. Apparently my mathematics is really bad. I thought it was like 10%. But yeah, so this one, everybody will get it. 5,000 per year. It's a rolling scholarship, so as long as they don't fail too much units, then they'll keep getting it. Every session, they're just deducted from the tuition every semester. And we also have other bizarre scholarship, which we don't use much. It's called Women in STEM and all that. You can look at it later when you get the document. So just apply for the more appropriate one. Well, you don't have to, because actually they'll give you one of these at offer, like automatically, and the form will be attached just as part of the process. So you don't have to actually apply for it. You'll get it and then just fill out. Even if in the case they didn't send it to you, you can always apply for it, but they don't. They usually send it to you. All right. So where? Okay, social work. So we're still accepting March application for social work. We have one intake. So we still we accept late applications. We tend to process application until like a week or two into the session start. And then COE, we would cut off our COE for session 1 sometime in mid-March. So if you have session 1 March application, we'll continue to process the application even if the class has started. I know that a lot of universities probably cut off their application deadlines like 2 weeks before the course commencement, but we are very flexible in terms of that. And now, Master of Social Work, our enrollment number has tripled since Gold Coast has become regional. So this has been a very, very popular course because it leads to immigration. And the key thing is that if a student has studied in English in Australia, for instance, we waive the IELTS. So if a student has studied Griffith Bachelor of Education, they go straight into the social work. So that I think is a lot of university can't do. So the English entry requirement, I believe, is only so it's only 7 with no band below 6.5. So with all offshore agents, students, we require this one if they haven't studied in English in Australia. So in terms of background, right, the background requirement is actually not our own requirement. This is the accreditation body requirement. And every single university should follow this one. So we require students to have studied, say, 8 units of social sciences background. So like student who had studied education, for instance, would have usually studied on a big number of social sciences units, so they go straight in. Psychology usually goes straight in. What else? Law, of course, they go straight in. Basically any social sciences unit, politics, sociology, whatever you can think of. So they'll go straight in. Sometimes things like environmental science, they go straight in. They're still considered cognate. And if you look at their transcript and count it, you'll be able to count 8 units of social sciences unit. So the social sciences unit sometimes even include things like leadership, communication. They're more like management units, but we still count it. So with level 1 and level 2 countries, if they don't have enough social sciences background, for instance, if a student has studied, say, business degree at Griffith, and they want to come to us, then obviously the background is going to be an issue. So what we do is we get students to do 4 units, like a non-award course for 1 session, so 4 months. And when they finish the 4 introductory level unit in the Bachelor of Social Welfare, then they go straight into the Masters. So that's one way to meet the background requirement. So instead of 2 years, those who don't have a background, we might have to do 2.5 years. So July is the next intake for a business degree student versus wanting to do a Master of Social Work. At the moment, we only have 1 intake, session 1 intake, but we are looking at opening another intake, probably in October, direct entry Masters. So we were actually talking about it just today, and we did look into that to show you. So this discussion is happening right now as we speak, that we would open up another intake for social work because it's been just so popular. Never mind. All right. So stay tuned. We might have open up another intake for Master of Social Work. So they can even, sometimes if they don't have enough background, they could even do it online from the home country. I had a student from Hong Kong who had, let's say, 6 units of social sciences unit, but just didn't have 8 units. Therefore, that student chose to do 2 units from offshore online. And after she had completed the 2 online units, then she was able to come in session 1 into the social work. Because when she applied in October, there wasn't even enough time to go for a visa to be able to come onshore and do it. So and because it's only 2 units, so she just did the bridging course from offshore online. So as you can see, we're very, very flexible. Yeah. The other thing is we do have 1,000 hours of professional placement in the course. And that's something I think a lot of universities, for instance, we have a lot of students from QUT transferring to us because QUT only has 200 or 400 hours of professional placement. So they, students want to come here because QUT Brisbane is not a regional area. They get extra 5 points in Gold Coast, plus a lot more internships. So 1,000 hours of participants. I think they need 980 or something to be able to submit their immigration visa application. So this means students don't have to hunt for a job when they graduate. They can just straight out of the university, they can apply for immigration. So that's the added benefit of studying with us. That's why we're getting, like we had about 4 or 5 students transferring from QUT alone. Now, right, so that's one thing. And I have shared this document. You can have a look at it. This has all of our courses selling points, key selling points for each one of our courses. Bachelor of Arts, I'm not going to recommend that. We have some bizarre courses like contemporary music and stuff. This doesn't lead to immigration stuff. We also have Bachelor Social Welfare. So it's a 4-year course. You get 400 hours of internship with this one, I think. And then this has all the selling points. I'm not going to go through them. You have the document. If you have a student applying for this degree, of course, you can always bring up this document. So in Lismore, right? Lismore is our oldest campus. This is the one with 30 buildings and kangaroos and koalas on campus. So it's a very nice campus. I feel every time I go there, I feel like I'm in a resort or something. And we do offer half the year free on-campus accommodation for students going to Lismore campus. It's a bit away, a bit inland, but half an hour away from the beach, from Byron Bay. And in Lismore, we have so many undergraduate level courses. I'm not going to go through them because it's just so many of them. All right. Usual like MBA, MPA, MIT, and tourism master's degree course, they're all offered in Gold Coast campus. I won't go too much into the details because every single university offers those courses. And other than the regional points, 5 points, we don't have too much that I can point out. So we have 2 pretty unique courses, that's Master of Forest Science Management and Marine Science Management. So Marine Science Management is in Coffs Harbour. The Australian National Marine Centre is on our campus. So the National Marine Centre is on our campus. So, and we right on, the National Marine Centre obviously is right on the beach. So the ocean is their lab, and you can also immigrate as a marine biologist. There are a lot of other matching occupation against this course as well. And we also have Master of Forest Science. So Master of Forest Science employment rate for this course has always been 100%. This is also on the list, obviously. So a student who had studied, say, a little bit of biology, chemistry, or environmental science, they can, or any just science background, they can apply for this degree. IELTS requirement is only 6.0, very, very low. So this is also very popular because it helps students to immigrate if they wanted. And also we are really, really good because in, let's say, forest science, right? There are only 2 or 3 universities in Australia that provide this course. most universities will have it as a sub-discipline under their environmental science, but we have it as a master's degree. So very good employment rate with internships and everything in it, and 100% job placement. So that's why I recommend these two courses. And really, they're like the faculties we have are like they do really amazing research. Like I've seen them doing research on sea urchin and doing a lot of collaborative research in Indonesia. So we have a big research presence in terms of marine science in Indonesia. So if any of you are interested in, say, facilitating some kind of 1+1 master's degree with an Indonesian university, you can always get in touch with us if you have a university connection. So it's like 1+1 master's or forest science. So I think you can look at our website for all the amazing research that they're doing in Asia Pacific area, particularly Indonesia. They grow things like they grow help farmers grow seaweeds, and instead of fishing, and pretty amazing stuff. Right, law, obviously you can immigrate with that, tourism, IT. So this, and we have midwifery and nursing and stuff, but at the moment it's pretty hard to get into those courses unless you have an IELTS 7 across all bands. You can't get into, but if they don't have enough IELTS and if they still want to do nursing, say, for instance, a lot of students, they don't really want to study nursing, but they will go for nursing because it can help the immigrant. But what they don't know is there are so many health courses that lead to a better outcome. Say, one of the courses that I always recommend is like occupational therapy, for instance, is very popular in some countries. Like from Taiwan, they always go for this course. And then we also have sports and exercise science, which requires IELTS 6 only, with no band below 5.5. So this is like #1. Like there are only a couple of universities that provide sports and exercise science. And this also leads to immigration, but not a lot of people know about this course. Not a lot of universities offer this one. So Bond and Griffith, UQ and UNE has these courses, and that's about it really. So careers, you can have a look into it, how they can immigrate. They can become fitness instructor, sports coaches, fitness and sports center managers. This is the starting salary, everything. So every course that has anything to do with health is quite easy to immigrate with. And our psychology degree, right? Psychology degree, I'm not sure if it's here or not. It's actually #1 in Australia for overall ranking. Psychology, #1. I don't know where it is, but anyway, postgraduate degrees to be added. We haven't, we've only just started doing this a while ago, so we haven't actually done it yet. But we have a number of postgraduate degrees. Once this is published or done, then I'll send it to you guys to share. Right. I think that's all from me. I'll leave another 15 minutes for you to ask questions.
Hi guys, if you have any question, you can either unmute yourself and ask a question, or you can type in the chat box. And yeah, I have a question, Navizo.
Yeah.
For the Bachelor of Sports and Exercise Science, well, the students have like similar kind of internship or placement, or just theoretical studies?
I do believe there's professional placement. That I think this is actually one of our, so our VC Vice Chancellor has said one of the things that we want to distinguish ourselves with is the internship and professional placement and all those kind of things. Does it say anything here? I mean, nursing and midwifery, they are absolutely like kind of things. Where is it? I think I might have passed it. Right, there it is.
So they can also travel to overseas.
Yes, they do. We do have some collaboration with Tianjin University of Sport and Beijing University. They can do exchange, placement opportunity. Yeah, so one way to check it is just go to our website and check the course structure. Why are you asking that? Because is that a very important part of the? Yeah, so they do have this professional experience learning. Yes, they do have professional placement, but how many hours? I'm not quite sure.
Okay, that's fine.
I think if it's one professional placement, then it will be 400 hours or something, for 500 hours.
Yeah.
So it depends on the. Yeah, well, you might have to check our website a bit more closely.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
And did you just cover about the hospitality management? Because I think it's very attractive in Gold Coast as well.
Yes, that's right. Hospitality, to be honest, we do have a lot of internships. So, let me see. I think hospitality is probably our #1 ranking, like except for psychology. This is probably most well known because we have paid internship and all. So Griffith has probably got a bit better ranking, but the student who can't get into Griffith for whatever reason, they all seem to come to us. Most internships are paid, some are unpaid. So unpaid and paid really depends on the student. So if they have really good English, then they get a paid internship, but otherwise they get the unpaid ones. We have students going on internship at a 7-star hotel on Harmon Island, you know, getting paid ridiculous, something like $80 an hour jobs. So I think we've ranked number 30 something in the world in terms of our overall ranking in the world. And because, you know, we work with the hotel school runs our Sydney and Melbourne campus. Because of that linkage, we have a very strong industry ties, so we can place students in internships quite easily. So undergraduate student, for instance, they can do about 8-month internship in the entire 3-year study duration. So postgraduate student, they can do a 4-month of internship. Undergraduate student, they can do 8 months. So, I mean, session 3 is always the student are doing working and all that. So 1 out of their 3-year study duration, they are working. in getting paid to work.
Yeah, okay, thanks.
Yes. Any other questions?
Hello, guys. Any other questions? If you don't have any at the moment, in the future, if you have any question, you can always ask our youth education team, and we will check for you with relevant reps. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Narizo,
All right.
for
Thank you very
today's
much, Mike.
introduction. Yeah. Thanks. So
Okay.
we can end the meeting for now. Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Thank you, guys.
Okay. Thank you. Bye
See
bye.
you. Bye.